Well, hello. This is Rose RCG Creations. How you doing? I'm doing a quickie little recipe today. We're going to be making some farm-style, gluten-free oatmeal cookies. Going to a little gathering today with some bunch of friends, and two of the ladies can only have gluten-free items, so I want to be considerate for them, and so we're going to do a gluten-free. And what I'm using is a store-bought gluten-free flour. But I wanted to let you know you can also make your own gluten-free flour. Okay, this particular brand it's an HEB all-purpose flour blend, and it includes white rice flour, organic flaxseed flour, tapioca starch, oat flour, white sorghum flour, gum, Arabic salt, all organic ingredients. And it's always best if you store this in the fridge or a freezer, and it makes all your flours, white flours, regular flours, last a lot longer. Even the homemade one now. I grind my own flour with my wheat berries. I got different varieties of wheat berries for different things, and I grind my own. But because this is gluten, I'm not too familiar with it. Right now just going to be comfortable because I don't want to make anybody sick. Some people get really, really sick when they don't eat any that's gluten-free. And some people just do it because it helps their joints. Being gluten-free helps their joints. Okay, so for right now, until I get more experience with the gluten-free flours and how to make them, I'm just going to be buying store-bought ones from now on until then. But I like to take a picture of this so that way I can show a friend on my phone so they know this is all the ingredients in the flour, and yes or no, they can eat it. I want to give them a heads up. So just as a quick little tip there. Okay, so let's get back to the video. Alrighty, so I went ahead and pre-mixed everything together and to save on time, and I want to help to stay in my 15-minute time that I give myself. This recipe is from the Betty Crocker cookbook. It includes 2 cups packed brown sugar, 1 cup of lard or shortening, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 4 cups quick cooking oats, 1 3/4 cups all-purpose or whole wheat flour, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. You bake it at 375 degrees, and you put them on about 1 inch apart because they will spread, and it makes about you place them about 3 inches apart, so you want to give yourself a good spacing, okay, because they will spread. I've made these but with regular flour, not gluten-free, so this is the only thing I'm doing different is making with gluten-free flour. Then you want to flatten the bottom of the cookies, or you dip the bottom of the glass with water and then you flatten the cookies, or just press down with your hand and dip a little bit of flour on your hand so that doesn't stick. Then you bake until they're golden brown, 8 to 10 minutes. You let them cool, then eat away, or be like me and eat them as soon as they come out of the oven when they're nice and warm with a nice cold glass of milk. Oh, yum, yum, yum. And if you notice, I'm not wearing my apron today because I'm hoping to be mess-free. Because as most of you know, my subscribers know that I'm a messy cook, but I'm getting better. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to mix the brown sugar, the lard, and the buttermilk and the vanilla, which is all already in the mix. And I'm going to use a spoon, and then I'm going to get my hands dirty, but not yet. So you just want to mix this all up. And you don't have to worry about getting all the clumps out with the lard. It'll eventually get in there, because when you get your hands in there and you're going to get it dirty, that's when you're really going to do some mixing. But I'm one of these old-fashioned cooks. This is what I learned from my mom, is you mix ingredients. All the powder stuff, all the liquids. So you make sure that they're very well mixed. And then when you put it all together, you mix it again so they all incorporate with each other. But you know it's really mixed, because you don't want to bite into a big old chunk of lard or a big old chunk of baking soda. I don't mind biting into a big old chunk of sugar. I wouldn't mind that, but in a way I would, because when it's too sweet, Since I've been on my weight loss program, when it's really, I'm not caring for a lot of really sweet stuff because I'm really backing off of that. So we'll see. Okay, so I think that's pretty good mixed up. Now we're going to add our dry ingredients. And I've already had and pre-measured everything. There's my gluten-free flour, my salt, and my baking soda. And they're all three, so now let's mix them up. And I'm just going to use my fingers for this one. And then crunch up any little clumps, because you want it as smooth as possible. Make sure your oven's on and preheating, so while you're doing this, you're ready to put them on your cookie sheet and you're ready to bake. Especially during summer, you don't want to have the hot house, because the oven makes the house hotter. Okay, so I think I'm good to go here. Now I'm going to mix everything in. And I don't know why, but gluten-free flour, for at least this one brand is a little darker than the regular white flour. And since this hand has just got one finger dirty, I'm a righty, so I'm using my right hand. And then now it's where you can come in there and squish the flour with the shortening in between your fingers to make sure it all mixes pretty well. And we're going to do this again when we put our oats in here. And it's going to call for 4 cups. It calls for 4 cups of oats. And then a little quick tip. If you really like a little extra sweetness, go ahead and add a little bit of white granulated sugar to make them a little bit sweeter. And since I've made these so many times, the regular brand, I know I like just a little bit of sweetness, so I added a 1/4 cup of sugar, white granulated sugar, to my mix, just because I like it just a little on the sweet side. And right now what you want to do is, see that? Is you want to make sure that all that shortening, you want all the big clumps to go away. So squeeze it between your fingers. This is where you're going to get nice and messy. And make sure you scrape it all the way to the bottom center. And make sure you get all those big clumps of shortening out of there. Okay, so I think I'm done on that one. Let me wash this finger. Let me dry my hand. Don't forget, clean utensils, clean table, workspace, clean hands, clean towels. It gets safer for you in the long run. I'm adding all my oats. Now I'm going to mix them all up. And see there? See how it's mixing up? And look, I'm not dirty yet. I said yet. It ain't over yet. And feel free to get in there and squish them all out between your fingers. And make sure all the oats, you want every single piece of oat to be coated with all these goodies. Alrighty. Don't forget, go to the bottom center and pick it up. Go down and pick it up. Scoop it like you do a shovel, or if you're a construction person, like a dump truck would do. Not a dump truck, one of those pickers, that machine that picks up stuff in the dirt and picks up the dirt and brings it out. Get in there and shovel it in. Cup yourself with a little, cup your hand, and then bring it from the bottom in on top. Okay, I think that's pretty darn well mixed, pretty darn good. Let me scrape all this goodiness off my hand, because I'm not going to waste any of that. And I just want to get the main clumps off my hand. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time on this part. And then if you don't want to get your hands dirty, you can definitely use a spoon or a spatula. I find, and throughout my learning process of all this baking from scratch, your food really does taste better if you get your hands dirty. But again, you do you. That's the whole point of this video, is I'm just learning, and I'm bringing you along for the ride with my mistakes and my ooh-oohs and then my successes, because I've had a couple of them. Alright, so now wash my hands right quick. With my right hand, I have to use my right hand. I want to get all that grease off of there. Okay. Now let's get our cookie sheet up. And my OCD kicks in. I can't handle working on a dirty surface. So let me grab my clean towel and let me wipe down my counter, my island here. Just a couple little dribbles there, not too many. Now, you want to put this on an ungreased cookie sheet. And I'm using one of those silicone line cookie sheet liners. And then I'm just going to drop them off like it said. I'm just going to drop them off. And because these are homemade, I'm not going to do anything more with that. But I am going to squish them down. And you want about 3 inches apart. And I'm just going to use the back of my cookie sheet and squeeze those down. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest of these, and then I'll bring you back when they come out of the oven. And we'll do a little taste test. Alright, we'll be back. Okay, we are back. I went ahead and I was able to make 2 trays. And as you can see, I'm going to show you. See how much they spread? So you definitely want to do it like it says, 3 inches apart. And then as soon as you take them out of the oven, these were on the bottom rack, and they got a little extra toasty because it was the bigger cookie sheet. That's okay. I like a little extra toasty, so those will be mine. And you want to take them off the cookie sheet and let them cool. So I'm just taking them off, and I'm going to rearrange them in another spot because I'm running out of room. I have some more of these cookie racks, drying racks, but I don't have the space. So I'm just going to take them off because we got to do the taste test. Okay, so those are all done. And I wanted to show you, I had enough left over, but I'm running out of time because I got to get ready to go to work. I had enough left over. I'm going to put this in the fridge because I have another function this Saturday and Sunday. And I'm going to finish these cookies later tonight when I get home from work. And we'll be able to enjoy another batch of these cookies. So now be careful though, because when you first take them off, they're really soft and flexible. So make sure, and I want to show you this, that you have your spatula all the way under the entire cookie. Then you pick it up and move it, because otherwise it's going to fall. And you're going to get a big mess like I did just here. I'm going to bring you over here. I'm not going to move it because I don't want to move my cookies. You see how the cookie broke? And here's my little pieces of the cookie. Sorry about the move there. Let me get you in here. Ah! My thing is moving. So this is what we're going to do the taste test on, okay? Not overly sweet. I think what I do what I let you know. But first make a small batch yourself. Just half everything in half. That's a small batch. And taste it to see if you need to add any added sugar, because that 1/4 cup of granulated sugar that I added, that's not in the recipe. For me, it's a win-win. They're good, okay, without it, but they're just not as sweet. And I'm sorry, but a cookie is supposed to be a little sweet. You can taste the crunch of the oatmeal. I don't taste any other shortening. I taste the hint of vanilla because I did put a little bit extra vanilla because you never go wrong with just a little bit extra vanilla. But the inside's nice and soft. Let me get the one I showed you that I broke. See the one that I broke? Let me bring it closer. Here's the one that I broke. I'm going to put it over here over the trash can. And see that? It's nice and soft on the middle. See that? I'm dropping little pieces everywhere. Because these are still warm. So, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit like and comment. Take care now. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.